SDSU is moving all classes online as cases of COVID-19 among the student body continue to rise. Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Barbara Lee Edwards.
I'm Carlo Cicchetto. There are now 64 confirmed or probable cases among SDSU students. Today, university officials announced a 4-week pause of in-person classes and a 2-week break from athletics.
We understand that there may be some frustration with this decision, but we strongly believe that this is the best decision for our entire campus community.
We expect the numbers to go up. This is a serious situation. This will go into triple digits. I'll just say that right now.
SDSU students will be allowed to remain in campus housing, but access to campus facilities will be limited. The university says it's increasing security patrols and educating students to try and limit further spread of the virus.
UC San Diego Health is joining a second national clinical trial for a COVID-19 vaccine. This phase 3 trial is for a vaccine from AstraZeneca. The local portion of the study will recruit about 1,600 participants. It will utilize a specially equipped bus to bring vaccine testing to local communities disproportionately affected by COVID-19. It starts next Tuesday. In July, UC San Diego Health joined a clinical trial for the vaccine created by Moderna.
The number of new COVID cases in San Diego is staying relatively flat with no big changes today. The county reported 250 new cases of COVID-19 out of more than 7,600 tests. That's a positive rate of 3.3%, just under the 14-day rolling average of 3.8%. There have been 18 community outbreaks over the past 7 days. That's above the county's trigger level of 7, and 7 new deaths bring that total to 695. San Diego's case rate that the state measures is holding at 5.8. It needs to drop about 2 points to get to the next tier. Tonight, News 8's Brandon Lewis goes beyond the numbers to explain provisions within the new tier system to ensure equal access to care. He also looks at how SDSU's cases could contribute to delaying more reopenings countywide.
Now, Carlo and Barbara Lee, we are all still adjusting to this new case rate formula that helps us determine when it's best to reopen. Today, we're going to focus on where cases are growing fastest and a new metric within this tier system to help make sure that all communities have access to testing, tracing, and treatment.
San Diego County's coronavirus cases are up about 4.5% this week, about equal to where we were a week ago, and most cities are around the average. However, the 92101 zip code stands out as the only one with a 10% increase in cases among those that have 100 or more. It makes up most of the downtown area and may be driven by density. Meanwhile, the county and San Diego State University are tracking the rise in cases there as students arrive from across the country. Since they are now living locally, SDSU cases do factor into our local case rate. 64 students tested positive and more than 100 others are in quarantine. The county thinks the number of confirmed infections could top 100.
Young people are less likely to suffer the severe consequences of COVID-19 than older individuals, but this is not a simple cold or flu. You don't want to get it. And actually, as importantly, you don't want to pass it on, especially to anybody who's at risk for a bad outcome.
Part of the makeup of the state's new tier system is a requirement to ensure everyone has the same access to testing, tracing, and treatment. The exact frameworks of the equity rules is still in the works, but it could be a landmark requirement for the nation.
I think we'll be certainly one of the first states to really put down a measure around how counties are doing on focusing on equity.
San Diego may have a leg up thanks to its early T3 strategy and an effort to engage with high-risk neighborhoods through community outreach partners like Promotoras.
We want to make sure that we get good input from not just our state and county partners, but also from many community partners who have been working with us all along on decreasing disparities and focusing on equity.
Even if we were able to get the number of coronavirus cases completely under control, San Diego County wouldn't be able to fully reopen until mid-October at the earliest. However, health experts say the reality is it will likely be much longer than that. Carlo and Barbara Lee.
It was back to school today for tens of thousands of Poway Unified students. The entire district is starting the year with virtual learning. As News 8's Shannon Handy shows us tonight, some campuses went above and beyond to get kids excited about the new year, despite all the changes ahead.
Design 39 is one of several Poway Unified schools starting the year with a meet and greet so students can actually see their teachers face to face. Meanwhile, other students jumped right in, spending the day on their computers at home.
It's nice to meet you. I'm Miss Grimmer, by the way.
At Design 39 in Forest Ranch, students didn't start their first day of school online.
Big year this year.
Instead, they drove through campus, picking up supplies and meeting their teachers face to face.
All right, here's all your stuff. I'm so glad I got to meet you in person.
I get to get the books and stuff. You don't have to do it all online. It's easier and nicer.
How are you? How are you guys?
Principal Joe Erpelding spent hours greeting families.
Can I get your first day photo?
He believes beginning the year this way makes a big difference.
We felt that it's way more important to see people with their face and see them in their eyes and connect versus in a little square box on Zoom.
Parents we spoke with agree.
It really brightens up everyone's day, and it makes us more collective as a group and as a community as well.
Other Poway Unified schools did the same thing Wednesday, including at Sundance Elementary in Rancho Penasquitos.
Welcome to first grade.
But it wasn't like this at all district campuses.
Every day we are going to be Zooming.
Many students jumped right into virtual learning, sharing videos and pictures with News 8.
In there, you will find a course syllabus.
District officials say while they expect some issues along the way, virtual learning has improved dramatically since it first got started last spring. Superintendent Marion Kim Phelps credits the time they've had to prepare.
We've been doing a lot of professional development for our staff and our teachers. We've been doing amping up our device initiative, ensuring that all kids have access to device. We surveyed our parents, our staff, and our students to find out what adjustments we needed to make.
Poway Unified is among several area districts beginning the year online, but it may not be for long. Thanks to declining coronavirus numbers, San Diego County schools have been given the green light to allow kids back inside classrooms. While no decision has been made, Poway's school board will discuss a phased reopening plan at their meeting next week, with the younger kids starting first. Principal Erpelding is optimistic.
We'll be ready. We're ready to pivot.
Well, with new guidance from the California State and the San Diego Catholic Diocese, indoor church service is coming back. Bishop Robert W. McElroy sent the letter yesterday detailing the plans for the church if congregations do choose to reopen. The new guidelines list that no more than 100 people can be inside for service, and everyone needs to wear a mask. In the meantime, church pastors say that outdoor service has actually been a good thing here in sunny San Diego.
Weather permitting, thankfully, we live in San Diego. Moving outside actually has been very positive. People have loved it, so we have seen the numbers rise up.
We might see an outdoor service stick around. Online church streaming will continue for those who are unable to stay outdoors for a long time. Quick actions by an off-duty officer in Kern County led to the arrest of two people accused in a San Diego hit and run that left a bicyclist gravely injured.
That happened on August 21st, about 1:30 in the afternoon on West Washington Street at India Street in Midtown. News 8's Heather Hope has the story.
4.5 hours north of San Diego in Kern County, an off-duty officer notices something unusual about the license plates of a van, so he calls it in, not knowing it is the suspect vehicle connected with a hit and run.
I happened to notice this van that had Cal exempt plates on it, and it just didn't look like the plates fit the vehicle.
Off-duty, yet acting as if on duty, CHP Officer Lieutenant Jay Olson spotted a 2005 Dodge Caravan that had suspicious-looking plates. The officer, on a motorcycle ride to Tank Park in Lake Isabella, 40 miles north of Bakersfield, took a picture of the van and sent it to another officer in the area, but that officer was off work.
He said, "Hey, when you come back to work, can you please check on this plate and check on this vehicle?"
That CHP Officer Bunting did just that, not knowing it was a suspect van tied to a hit and run in San Diego. He spotted it in a Vons shopping center lot.
He saw the two suspects that were with the van and noticed that this van was wanted in a hit and run.
Police were looking for 29-year-old driver Mauricio Flores and his 50-year-old passenger Jessica Bailey. From witness video, officers say Flores hit a 66-year-old cyclist at India and West Washington streets on August 21st. The pair were shown getting out to look at the victim before removing the bike and driving off.
We demand justice.
Bike safety advocates called for justice for the cyclists, meeting at Columbia Street and Andrew Street, saying the bike lane symbols formerly in the hit and run location were painted over to add free street parking.
We cannot sacrifice safety and people's lives for parking. So we're just calling on the city of San Diego.
Bike SD says last year 44 pedestrians, bicyclists, and drivers died near the Washington Street and India Street intersection.
I've never felt safe.
The group is calling for San Diego Mayor Kevin Faulconer and the city to replace the painted over bike lane since the hit and run. The cyclist, who has not been named, has been in the hospital ever since with a life-threatening head injury. Officers are grateful they were able to catch the suspects, taking them into custody early Tuesday in the van with new plates.
These suspects had changed the vehicle plates to Vermont plates, so they had several different plates lined up, I guess, for each day of the week.
An arrest thanks to an off-duty officer.
We're always on duty. We're always working.
Heather Hope, News